What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for today. A lot to get into in today's video, guys. Like I've said, it's been kind of a slower week. I'm looking to get set up for next week for the World Cup, and we have done amazingly well so far doing that, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setups so far today, going into either tomorrow or Sunday, or actually this play right here is all the way next Thursday. All right, so this is the first World Cup game. I believe they kick off the World Cup, Mexico versus South Africa. So we're going to be crossing our fingers and hopefully these guys do go over together. Now, there's going to be a lot to get into if I really want to get into all these plays, but I want to highlight two things. I want to highlight Canadian football, okay? So this was what I talked about in yesterday's video, right? I took Kenny Lawler to go under receiving yards, and I took Giddens to go over receiving yards. And I told you guys these guys are actually negatively correlated. And what that means is as one guy's line rises, the other guy's line is likely to go lower. And the reason being is because there's only so much of the ball that the quarterback can throw to, right? So if one receiver has a lot of yards, the other one is likely to go under the yards, right? Think about it with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. If George Pickens gets 150 yards, CeeDee Lamb's probably not also going to have 150 yards. That would be pretty crazy, right? If one receiver has a ton of yards, the other one's probably going to have a lower amount of yards, right? So Kenny could have been the one to go over and Giddens could have went under, or vice versa, right? So again, like I say in all correlated strategies, we want to see either red, or green. So if Lawler had 120 yards, Giddens probably would have had 30 or 20 or something like that. And that would have been great to see also, because we would have saw that they were negatively correlated. Now over here, and I actually talked about this one on yesterday's video, and I said, guys, I'm going to send out something in the VIP like this later, right? And I talked about I think I talked about like the South African attacker and goalkeeper, and I said I don't like this duo, but we're gonna wait till more World Cup lines are out. And by the way, a lot more World Cup lines are out now, so that's amazing to see. And the VIP is gonna be getting all those, okay? But what did I do? I paired Snead, the number one receiver on this team, and I paired Davis Alexander, the quarterback of this team, to go over together, okay? Can there be any more bread and butter freaking correlation on this channel than a receiver-quarterback duo going over and a receiver getting a quarterback going over 300 yards and a receiver going over 100 yards, guys? This guy had a 70-yard catch in yesterday's game, so literally one pass took this guy and cashed him. So 70-yard catch cashes him, and then because a 70-yard pass is a lot of yards for Davis Alexander, it instantly like filled his lineup, so to speak. If you think about these lines getting like filled up like a jar of water or something like that, it instantly gave him 70 yards, right? So extremely correlated. We've been knowing that football is correlated for about 3.5 years, 4 years now. Actually, since the beginning of time, football has been correlated. But this is what we bet on, guys. We bet with correlation. I can tell you guys right now that if Davis Alexander would have only thrown for 100 yards, so if he would have been like right here, then Tyler Snead probably would have only gotten like 30 yards or 20 yards or something like that, okay? If we look at these stats, it's amazing, guys. Football is football. If there is a football game above the high school level, you better know that we are betting on that game, guys, especially in the middle of June, because I am starving for football always. I'm always thinking about football. I'm always wanting to bet on football correlation. And as you're going to see, Davis Alexander throws for over 300 yards. Tyler Snead, his number one receiver. Here's his number two receiver. They both go way over. On Hamilton, guys, Kenny Lawler, number one receiver. Giddens, the number 3 receiver in this game, but he does go over. It's 7 receptions. Kenny Lawler had 4 receptions. And then Keandre Smith, who I didn't bet on, I don't even know the guy, but he also had a really good game. And both of these guys would have went over as well. Bo Levi Mitchell, I believe his line was like, I think it was like 270 or something like that. So Bo Levi would have went over. Keandre Smith would have went over. Giddens would have went over with him if we decided to do that. Kenny Lawler did not go over. So if we would have took Bo Levi Mitchell over and Giddens over or something like that and took 2 overs together, then that would have happened again. Again, we're going to do this a lot, either taking overs or unders. And we've been doing this for 3 years, guys. If you want to know how we've done over the past 3 years, or it's not 3 years, 2.5 years, this is what it looks like. 1,000 units doing this strategy. Everything is tracked, guys. I literally just updated the PrizePicks right here. We're up 100 units so far this year on PrizePicks and Underdog. On BETR, we're up 50 units, which is crazy, man. Crazy to go up 50 units on BETR. And this is all utilizing discounts, like I say. BETR is completely free money. You can make about $200 to $300 a month on BETR, just taking the discounts every day. Sleeper actually we've had a pretty bad past 2 weeks on Sleeper, funnily enough here. But it'll bounce back, guys. Do not worry. These are discounts at the end of the day. I want to show you guys because this is the new graph, and I just replaced it. I'm going to replace it with this graph, right? And this, I probably updated this maybe like 3 to 4 days ago. And you'll just see that, like I said, we've had a quiet week. There's not been that much to bet on. We've been waiting for the World Cup, right? I kind of talked about, you got to know when to fold them, know when to hold them. We've been waiting for World Cup, for Canadian football, and we've just trying to get setups for next week, right? So it's been a slower past week. And as you guys see, we're down like 3 units. Who cares? We've hit 2 more entries since the last time I updated it. Who cares? We've missed like 9 entries. Okay. Who cares? We've had like 10 to 11 entries. It's been really nothing. And yeah, at the end of the day, when we have setups like this, like I said, we have 5 setups. Maybe all 5 of these hit. That would be great. Maybe all 5 of these miss. I have no idea. If like 2 of these hit, we'd be back up to all-time highs potentially. Like, let's just say, like, knock on wood, but let's say like this hits, something like that, then we'd be back up to all-time highs, right? So this is what I'm talking about in the day-to-day swings, and you cannot let this get into your head, is because day-to-day, anything can happen. Literally anything can happen. You could have 0-5, you could go 0-10, you could go 8-8, like everything could hit, everything could miss. I know though, long-term, that we're going to win, right? I've had multiple days where we miss everything. I've had multiple days where it feels like everything hits. This stuff is going to happen day to day. You guys are going to see on BETR, we have a hit here, a hit here, a hit here. I might have shown some of these in some of the past videos and stuff, but I just want to show you guys the actual entries and how often these discounts do hit. Shohei Ohtani discounted down, Logan Gilbert discounted down, Courtney Williams. I know this one was definitely last night because I remember sending it out, so this one did hit. And then on Sleeper, what's happened is we've had a lot of DMPs, which is unfortunate. I have no idea why these guys DMP, but they do. And then I do want to kind of get into this pick as well, but on NOVIG, we are absolutely destroying NOVIG recently, okay? So if you do not have NOVIG yet, you can actually get into the VIP for free, actually for $1. All you have to do is use code detective on NOVIG, $1 purchase, and you will get 1 month free of the VIP, okay guys? So absolutely take advantage of this. If you already have NOVIG, you can sign up like friends, family members. If you have a group chat that you bet with, I know that's pretty popular to do. You can go ahead, get them all signed up for literally $1. You could get all those guys into the VIP, or you could get, you could be selfish and get yourself like 4 or 5 months of the VIP free, all right? I'll work with you. My number is right here, so you can text me NOVIG, or you can use the link down in the description to sign up for NOVIG. It should auto-populate code detective, but just make sure you're doing this. And what it should show is promo applied 90% off. So you'll get either $1 to get $10, or you'll get $5 to win, not win, but get $50. So that's obviously great there. I will also say for the month of June, and I forgot to add this, but I actually sent this out to the VIP, or I sent this out to my winnable yesterday. 2 months free of the VIP if you do sign up for Kalshi, all right? I have a deal with Kalshi this month. I want to really, really hammer Kalshi this month. I might be sending out some Kalshi entries, but this is a June only promo, 2 months free of the VIP. So if you have not signed up for Kalshi yet, you'll get a free $10 with a $1 trade. So again, more free money. You do have to put in $10. So how that's going to look is you put in at least $10. If you want to put in 100, go right ahead. Put in $10. Make a $1 or more trade, and you'll get a free $10 on Kalshi. So you can start with 20, or if you want to put in more money, you can go ahead and do that. But again, 2 free months of the VIP, and this is only going to be ran by June, through the month of June. Okay, so as long as you are, if you have not signed up for Kalshi yet, go ahead and do it. There's going to be no better time than now to be signing up for Kalshi. Rounding out the day, I do have more that I do want to go over. I apologize, guys, but I just have a lot to talk about. All right, because sometimes it is what it is, right? Let's look at League of Legends, because League of Legends is one of my favorite sports. I talk about football, soccer, those are all my favorite sports too. League of Legends, guys, it's my bread and butter, and it's year round, right? So football, not necessarily year round, but League of Legends, something we absolutely crush year round. And you're going to see Kratos and Harky, we took them under. And 2 videos ago, I took them under with Vlad. Vlad absolutely sold us. He only got 2 hitter fantasy score. That was a horrible performance by him. But I did talk about this in length in this video, Kratos and Harky. And if you want to go back and watch that video as a educational thing, I highly recommend it, because it was a great call. And if we look at how the game played out, you will see, if we can find the team, which is Vikings, they are right here. What do you know, guys? Vikings got completely swept. 0-3. They were not favored in this game. That's a big reason why I took them under. And you will see the game was 9-19. And what do I always say about League of Legends? The winning team gets about 2 to 3x the amount of kills as the losing team's going to get. Okay? It's not crazy difficult to understand. You might be saying, I don't know how League of Legends works. How am I supposed to know how League of Legends works, guys? You don't have to know how League of Legends works. I urge you to go onto sofascore.com, League of Legends, type in SofaScore League of Legends, and you'll be brought to this right here. And then go back throughout these days, click around, and just be like, okay, how did this game go? How did this game go? And you will see that the winning team is going to get way more kills than the losing team almost every single game. 9-19 game 1. Second game was 6-13. Okay, so another game where the winning team gets 2 to 3x the amount of kills as the losing team. This is what I always say. Game 3, 6-19. 2 to 3x the amount of kills as the losing team. So the winning team, if we can identify who the winning team's going to be, we can take their overs. If we can identify who the losing team's going to be, we can take their unders. And this is as simple as it gets in League of Legends, guys. It's not any more complicated than that. You don't have to know all this intricacies of League of Legends and everything like that. All you have to know is if the winning team's going to win, we're going to take the overs. If the losing team's going to lose, we're going to take the unders, okay? Now, again, you might be like, well, how am I supposed to know? I'm not an expert in League of Legends. I have no idea. We're going to get to that, all right? And it's going to be around Bovada and sports betting odds and how we can actually use the sports books to tell us who's going to win or lose, right? It's very simple stuff, guys. NOVIG, like I said, we've been crushing it. I do want to say that a couple videos ago, I sent out Nick's spread. It hit. I actually sent this out twice. So I sent this out after game 7 of Thunder and Spurs, and I sent this out the day of game 1, and it hit. And, you know, sometimes people will be like, bro, you didn't show this one loss from 3 days ago. And it's like, I honestly feel like I showed the losses more than I even showed the wins. Like, I forgot to even show this win. And this is something I doubled down on. I doubled down on Nick's spread, and I made a YouTube short, Instagram reel, yada, yada, about the spread of 4.5 and 5.5. And this hit, and I even forgot to talk about it when it did hit. Now, Lynx also hits, which was minus 2.5. I gave this out, I believe, yesterday or the day before that. And then Tennis also hits, and this is a VIP classic right here. Tennis model, beautiful hit right here. Plus 114, minus 5.5 for this guy right here, this German tennis guy, and absolutely crushed that line right there on NOVIG. So we are dominating NOVIG. If you want to see the tennis model, boom, right here, 55 units on the tennis model. I think it's up to like 61 units now. Crazy stuff there. Let's get into the first pick of the day. I know I talked a lot, but if you can really conceptualize what I was talking about in football, League of Legends, you'll really, really win long term, okay? Now, Spurs money line, all right? I think the Spurs win this game. I think if the Spurs do not win this game, they're probably getting swept, which I don't see happening, okay? So Spurs money line is their last game at home before they have to go back to or go to New York and face, you know, 2 games in Madison Square Garden. And Spurs look good. I mean, they had some players that overperformed. They had some players that underperformed. Champagny overperformed. Dylan Harper honestly just did Dylan Harper things. I think he should play more. I don't know why they play him so little. But anyway, guys, Spurs money line, I'm taking this tonight. I just think it's a simple entry. I think Spurs go ahead and tie this series up 1-1. Knicks probably ultimately we'll see after game 4. Really, the series is going to be decided how the Knicks do at home and stuff. But, you know, I am going for the Spurs at the end of the day. I did take Knicks plus 4.5. And again, the reason why I took Knicks plus 4.5 is because even though I am a Spurs fan, is because I don't let my emotions get into the way of sports betting, guys. I'm not going to root for a team and bet on them or root for a team and bet against them and yada, yada, right? I am very, very unemotional. And all of my sports bets, I attack with that same mentality, okay? So Spurs money line, again, with NOVIG, this is that app where you can put $1 in and get a free $10. If you put $5 in, you get a free $50, okay? So great app. I love NOVIG. I've been taking so many NOVIG bets, all right? And personally, I'm actually up thousands of dollars on NOVIG this month, and I can show you guys this in tomorrow's video if you want me to, okay? So let's get into the second pick of the day. What do you know, guys? What are we doing? We're doing another correlated entry, all right? This channel is not very complicated, right? We do very similar stuff. If you want to go back to my oldest videos from 2023, you're going to see that I'm taking NFL, college football, correlation. I'm taking guys to go under pass yards. I'm taking guys to go under pass completion, pass attempts, taking guys to go under receiving yards, receptions, everything like this. And we're still doing this today in 2026, and PrizePicks cannot stop us. They have no answer to us whatsoever. All right, so I'm taking Jake Mayer on this team. They're Ottawa, I believe, and we're taking them under pass yards, and I'm taking Keelan White under 3.5 receptions. Now, with the receptions line at 3.5, it is mandatory that you take this at 3.5 and not 3, okay? I doubt it bumps, but at 3.5, I really like this line. At 3, I don't like it anymore, okay? It's like an assist line in the NBA, right? The 0.5 differences can matter a lot. One catch is a huge difference in football. So, great stuff here. This is correlated. It's really easy to understand, guys. The less that this team is throwing, if this guy doesn't have a very good game, if he only throws the ball like, I don't know, 20 times. Normally these CFL guys, well, we can actually look at the stats because I have it pulled up. But normally these guys, yeah, they throw like 40, 50 times a game because CFL is very, very fast paced. So if this guy only throws like 25 times a game, if he only gets like 150 yards, then Keelan White's probably going to go under together with him. So if they have a bad day in the office passing, they're probably both going to go under together, okay? If they have a really good day of passing and they throw for like 400 yards, then Keelan White's probably going to get a lot of receptions, okay? So understand that. Very simple to understand. I will also say that Jake Mayer, the reason why I like him to go under is because this is his first start for this team. He was a backup last year, and I just think ultimately it's hard to be a starting quarterback for any league. It doesn't matter whether it's college, CFL, NFL, and honestly, you may look at Canadian football and maybe like, Canadian football, I feel like that's where like all the NFL rejects go. Guys, these guys are very good players. A lot of these receivers and stuff were like top players at college, top players at, schools like Oklahoma and schools like, like big Division I schools, and they're top receivers, and they were on NFL teams for a couple years. They went to NFL camps and they were like 7th round picks or whatever, and they just ended up not making in the NFL for a couple years, and then they end up going to the CFL. And like, again, some of these guys are like the studs of, like I said, these Division I schools back a couple years ago even. So these guys are very legit players. I believe Jake Mayer was the quarterback for UC Davis or something. And it's interesting. It's a very interesting league. The third play here is Romer to go under 8.5 kills. Okay. So as I alluded to earlier in this video, when a guy gets losses, when a team loses, you're going to have less kills. When a team wins, you're going to have more kills. Now, if we look here, one of my favorite apps, Pick Finder, you'll see that Brian, or Bro, I like to call them, they're this green team here, they have a 27% chance to win this game. Okay, so hopefully you guys can connect the dots about why I'm taking their under together. This guy's under because he only has a 27% chance to win. Now, that being said, when you have a 27% chance to win and you're playing 3 games, what I think this team is going to happen, is this team is going to go 1-2. So I do think that they take 1 game and they lose 2 games out of the 3-game series. Now, they could also get swept, which would be really good for that. We saw that in that Vikings game that I went over. But I think best case scenario for this team is that they go 1-2. Okay. So very simple stuff. Now, you might be like, how do I know that? Well, first of all, what PickFinder does is it pretty much has an API that pulls odds from, I believe they pull from ThunderPick, which is another site that has a lot of odds for these games. But you can also look at a site like Bovada, right? And if you don't know how to, go through Bovada and stuff, guys, just look up Bovada League of Legends, and you can see that the team that Bro is facing, DK right here, DK plus D plus Kia, is minus 400 to win. So if you don't know what minus 400 to win is, then that's out of the scope of this video. You can look up how do American odds work, and you'll see that minus 400, you can come back into this video, minus 400, that means that they're heavily favored, about 75% favored, which is what PickFinder said, okay? You can also scroll down, and this is one of my favorite sections in Bovada, and you can but you can see what the lines are for the correct scores, and you're going to see that this team is likely to go 3-1, so that would mean that in the 3-game series, Brian wins 1 game, like I said, 1-2. Or what's actually the most likely thing to occur based on Bovada's odds right now is that DK goes ahead and 3-0 sweeps them, okay? So these are the 2 most likely scenarios. Like I said, either a sweep or in the 3-game series, 1 win to Bro. Now, going back to this guy's actual line, by the way, I have to sort him by the times he's been on this team because he just joined this team earlier this year. You'll see that here are the games that he has played for this team this year. You'll see on the 17th of January, 22nd, 25th, yada, yada. And you'll see if we sort by the games where he's only won 1 game, he has gone under most of this time. Very simply why? Because when you lose, you normally go under and you do not have that many kills, okay? So for example, in this game, he won this first map and he gets 4 kills. He loses the second map, only gets 2 kills, and he loses the third map and gets 0 kills because he lost. Same thing here. Actually, not same thing there, but normally when you win the game, you're getting more kills. Here's a good example. Loss, 2 kills, win, 4 kills, loss, 0 kills. Okay, so when you win, you're getting about 4 to 6 kills, and when you lose, he's getting about 0 to 3 kills, okay? And you'll see there is 1 game that he did go over earlier in the year, but again, he only went over by 0.5, so we're not really that worried about that, okay? And then when you see the games where he's won, So he's won 2 games out of the 3. So this is a game where he actually goes and he goes way over, right? You're going to see that the win that he got down here, he had 12 kills, which is incredible because that's what happens when you win League of Legends games, guys. You go over and you win a lot of their games, and you'll see head-to-head even. You'll see versus DK, they literally played 15 days ago, something like that, 16 days ago, something like that, right? And you'll see what ended up happening. Loss, win, loss. 1 and 2. Okay, so I think it's 1 and 2. Could they go ahead and sweep them 3-0? Of course, it's in the realm of possibility, right? This stuff can happen, right? It's a sport, it's an esport. These are players, professional players. These things can happen. But again, I'm basing a lot of my facts off of Bovada and Thunderpick and Pickfinder to base my premise around how this game's going to go. And that's why I'm ultimately taking him under 8.5, right? And over a long period of time, this is the stuff that wins. So hopefully you guys learned something in today's video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like and comment. I highly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. Again, sign up for NOVIG. Cannot recommend NOVIG enough. We actually use it quite a lot on the VIP. So go ahead and do that. And you guys can also sign up for Kalshi. And in the month of June, you'll get 2 free months of the VIP for signing up for Kalshi. Text me Kalshi to my number up here, and I'll send you that link. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in tomorrow's video.